Welcome students. So today we'll be covering the last part of the ordinary differential equations, that is simultaneous differential simultaneous ordinary differential equation. So here in this simultaneous first order differential equations, they are of this type: dy by dx is equal to function of x y z. We will be having one equation on the right hand side of dy by dx. Another equation you will be having dz by dx, which is equal to, now this phi we have considered another function over here which will contain a terms x y z. So two equations you will be having. You have to solve these equations by using RK method. Okay, now previously you have seen the RK method, second order RK second order method. So in that method you were finding k1, k2 and then y1. Okay, here as we are having two equations, they are known as simultaneous ordinary differential equations. So when one equation is there, we require one condition. When two equations are there, we require two conditions. Here you can see over here, so two conditions are given. So the first condition is at x is equal to 0, what is the value of y? Y0. When x is equal to 0, what is the value of z? It is z0. So we are having two conditions over here. So we are having the initial values of x, y, z as x0, y0 and z0. Now the step sizes for x, y, z, as you know, step size for x is h, for y will take k, and for z it is l. These are the step sizes for x, y, z. Step size means what? It is actually the increment in the value of respective variables. So we know the formula for k1. K1 is given by h into f x0, y0, z0. So whatever with the function over here, in that function will be replacing by x0 value, y0 value and z0 value. Okay, now as it is simultaneous ordinary differential equations, we will consider another factor over here or another variable over here. It is L1 variable. Why we have to consider this? Because we are having two functions, two different functions. Okay, now in another function, when you are finding the value of L1, L1 is equal to h into phi. You can see over here in this function. Now here will be another function given to you. In this function you have to replace the value of x, y, z by x0, y0 and z0. In this way you have to obtain the value of k1 and L1 first. Okay, then you have to find the value of k2. So k2 will be what? F of x0 plus h and y0 plus k1. So k2 will be x0 plus h, y0 plus k1. L2 will be, so here it should be actually z0 plus L1. Okay, here one term is remaining z0 plus L1. So L2 will be what? H into phi x0 plus h, z0 plus L1. Here also one term of y is remaining, that is y0 plus k1. So here is mistake in the formula. I will give you the corrected formula. Okay, then we are finding y1 is equal to what? Y0 plus half k1 plus k2. In this way we are finding the value of y1 as earlier. Z1 is equal to what? Z0 plus half L1 plus L2. Okay, so in this way you have to form or solve the simultaneous ordinary differential equations. When you call it as simultaneous, when you are having two functions. Now consider the second order differential equation. This is what first order, dy by dx, dz by dx, this is first order. We'll consider the second order, d square y by dx square is equal to f function of x, y and dy by dx. Suppose this equation is given to you. It is second order differential equation, as the highest term is 2 over here. You can see over d square y by dx square, it is the having highest term 2. So now what we have to do is that in this, suppose in this case what we can do is that we can replace dy by dx as z. This dy by dx will call it as z, and it can be reduced to two first order simultaneous differential equations. The second order differential equations we can replace by two simultaneous first order differential equations. How to do it? In this dy by dx we are replacing it by z. You can see over here. So dy by dx we are replacing it by z, and dz by dx will be equal to a function of x, y, z. Dz by dx will be function of x, y, z. Now here we will consider example, solve the differential equations. You can see over here dy by dx is equal to 1 plus xz. So this is one function. Dz by dx is equal to minus xy. So this is another function. So we are having two functions over here. Okay, in these two functions you have to solve these two ordinary differential. They are called as two ordinary differential equations. Now the increment in x is given as 0.3, and the initial conditions are given as at x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, at x is equal to 0, z is equal to 1. So you have to solve by using this formula. Okay, so we are finding k1, k2 first, then we are finding the value of y1 and y2. Okay, we can find the value of z, z1, z2 in this way. So this is a simple example, you can solve it by your own. So this is about the simultaneous ordinary differential equations. So we have finished with the ordinary differential equations. We have seen different methods in it. Now we'll go on to partial differential equations. Now partial differential equations, in this we'll be having introduction to finite difference method, solution to parabolic equation, and solution to elliptical equation. Now ordinary differential equation means what? In ordinary differential equation, the equations which consist of derivative terms with respect to one independent variable, that equations we are calling it as ordinary differential equations. All of you are getting? The equation containing a derivative term, that also with respect to only one independent variable, then we call it as ordinary differential equation. Now we have to learn different methods to obtain solution of partial differential equation. So first, what is partial differential equation? In partial differential equations, there will be partial derivative terms. When we take partial derivative, when there are more than one independent variable, then we are taking partial derivative. So the equation containing partial derivative terms, that is containing more than one independent variable, they are known as partial differential equations. You come across this partial differential equation in heat transfer. Okay, the heat conduction equation. If we consider with respect to x, the heat transfer taking place in x direction only, and if it is steady state condition, then that equation is called as ordinary differential equation. But when we consider the heat transfer taking place in three directions, x, y, z, also if we consider the condition as unsteady state condition, that means what, the temperature is changing with respect to time, then that becomes the partial differential equation. Okay, now here over here, first we'll see what is known as boundary value problem. Now in ordinary differential equations, you have learned the initial value problem. Initial value problem is what, the initial condition is given to you at x is equal to 0, y's value is so and so, at x is equal to 0, z value is so and so. So the initial conditions are given to you. But in boundary value problems, you will see there are different conditions given to you, like at x is equal to 0, you are having the initial condition is x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. At x is equal to L, suppose L is the length, at x is equal to L, y is equal to 2 or some value, so that becomes the boundary value conditions. Okay, for different points of x we are giving the condition. Now a general second order differential equation is given by, this is a second order differential equation, y double dash is equal to a function of x, y and y dash. Okay, since the ordinary differential equation, this is the ordinary differential equations, so when it is of first order we require one condition, when it is of second order we require two conditions. So since the equation is second order, so two suitable conditions are required to obtain a unique solution of the problem. You know what is unique solution? So to obtain the unique solutions you require two suitable conditions when the order is second order. If the conditions are prescribed at the end points, now consider x is equal to a is the initial point, x is equal to b, it is the end point. Okay, then it is called two point boundary value problem. Here we are having two conditions are given to you, at x is equal to a initial and x is equal to b final. Then if these two conditions are given, then we call it as two point boundary value problem. Consider a linear second order differential equation. This is known as linear second order differential equation, y double dash p of x y dash p of x y is equal to r of x, x belongs to a and b. Now a is what, initial condition, a, we are having these two conditions a or b and b over here, so these conditions are mentioned over here. Now assume that the solution exists and it is unique. We assume that solution exists and it is unique. This implies that p, q and r are continuous for all values of x, and x belongs to, so x is in the range of a to b, so p, q and r, they are continuous functions of x. So two conditions required to solve equation. So as it is second order differential equation, two suitable conditions are required. Okay, so what may be the conditions? So first condition is boundary condition of first kind. As I told you, two suitable conditions are required. First condition is of boundary conditions of first kind. So in this, the dependent variable yx is prescribed at the endpoints x is equal to a and x is equal to b. So we are to having two endpoints for x, one is a, another one is b. The value of y will be prescribed at these two endpoints, means y value when x is equal to a, this is what, how you have to read it, y when x is equal to a is a, capital A. Value of y when x is equal to b is what, capital B. So two conditions will be given. These conditions are known as boundary conditions of first kind, in which the y value will be prescribed at two values of x. Okay, and these are the n values of x. Now second type, boundary conditions of second kind. In this, the normal derivative of yx is prescribed at the endpoints a and b. So the derivative of dy by dx will be having the value of dy by dx at x is equal to a. It will be given to you as a. Dy by dx at x is equal to b will be given to as b. Okay, in this way, this is the second condition, second or boundary condition of second kind, we call it as. Now boundary condition of third kind, or this is also known as mixed boundary conditions. So you can see over here, a0 y minus a1 y dash is equal to a, b0 y plus b1 y dash is equal to b. Okay, where a0 a1 b0 b1 a and b are all constants. So this type of mixed condition will be given to you. The value of y will be given to you, also the derivative or the slope value will be given to you. Okay, and you have to find the solution for this. So what we learn is that we have learned that there are three conditions. There are three conditions, three type of conditions are there. Okay, and in that you require two conditions to obtain the unique solution for this equation. We have considered this equation and we have seen different conditions that can be applied to obtain the unique solution for this equation. Okay, and this is known as boundary value problems. Now we'll learn what is finite difference method. As you have seen, or as we know, the initial value of x is a, the final value of x is b. Consider the initial value of x as a and final value as b. Now we'll divide this interval ab into n equal subintervals. We'll see, we are dividing this interval ab into n equal subintervals. Okay, you can see the distance between 2 points x0 and x1 is h, here also h. The length of subinterval is called as step length. The length of subinterval is called as step length. You can see this is a step length. We denote it by delta x or h. Okay, the step length we are denoting it by delta x or h. So delta s is equal to h is equal to b minus a upon n. Okay, so what is h value? H value is nothing but final limit minus initial limit upon n. N is what? N is required number of subintervals. So like this we are having the initial value of a as x as x0 which is equal to a, final value of x as b which is equal to xn. Okay, x0 and xn terms. The points a is equal to x0, x1 is what? Now x1 will be what? X0 plus h. X1 will be x0 plus h. So x2 will be what? X0 plus 2h. Like this we'll be finding till xn. Xn will be what? X0 plus nh which is equal to b, are called the nodes or nodal points. So these are called as nodes, x1 point, x2 point. These are called as what? Nodes or nodal points, or also they are known as lattice points. We denote the numerical solution at any point xi by yi and the exact solution by yxi. As we know, we denote the numerical solution at any point xi, that is at any point. Suppose we are given a value of x0 and xn, but we don't know value of x1, x2, x. So the value of x1 will be, sorry, the value of x1 values we are knowing, but y1 values we are not knowing. The value of x we are knowing, but the value of y we are not knowing, and we have to find these values of y. We will be knowing the values of y at, there are possibilities that we will be knowing the values of y at n points, but when you have to find the intermediate values, you have to write in this manner. xi, so y is what the value of y at xi is yi. Okay, now there are three different approximations in finite difference method. One is the forward difference approximation, then is the backward difference approximation, and third one is the central difference approximation. Okay, now we'll see what is forward difference approximation for first order equation, or it is first order approximation. So according to this forward difference approximation, the value of y dash will be equal to 1 by h y xi plus 1 minus y xi. So if you have to find the value of y, suppose you have to find the value of y dash over here at 1. It will be given by 1 by h y. What is y value over here at x is equal to 1? At x is equal to 1, the value of y is y1. So y1 minus y0. In this way you have to find the value of y1 dash. You can see over here y1 dash is equal to y 1 by h yi plus 1 minus yi. If I is 1, if we consider I is equal to 1 over here, it will be 1 by h yi plus 1 means what? 1 plus 1, it will be 2. It is y2 minus y1. Means why it is called forward difference? Because we are taking the difference of next value minus the previous value. Okay, so y2 minus y1, y3 minus y2, y4 minus y3, like this we are considering the term. So it is known as forward difference when we are finding the value of y dash. Now backward difference approximation of first order. So when we are finding y dash at any value of xi, it will be equal to 1 by h y xi y at xi minus y at xi minus 1. So it is nothing but y dash I is equal to 1 by h yi minus yi minus 1. So y is what? yi is the current value, and yi minus 1 is what? The previous value. So here instead of taking forward value, what we are going to consider? We are going to take backward value. Okay, like y2 minus y1. In this way, suppose it is 1 over here, so y1 minus y0. Okay, so in this way you are going to take the backward difference. It will be in this manner. So this is known as backward difference approximation. Now central difference approximation of second order. So we will see for first order and then we'll go for second order. So actually it should be first order over here. Okay, so y dash I xi is equal to 1 by 2h y x plus 1 minus y x minus 1. So when we are going to consider the central difference approximation, you have to consider the central term. You have to consider suppose at this point we have to find out. So which terms you will be consider? What is the value of y at this point? It is y1. Okay, when you have to consider this point, and it is central difference approximation, you are going to consider the value of y as, or the difference that you are going to take, it will be what? y2 minus y1. This difference you are going to take, y2 minus y1, like this. Okay, you can see over here. Suppose at y you want to find at y, so it will be yi plus 1 minus yi minus 1. Now approximation of y double dash at xi at the point x is equal to xi. So this you know. Now central difference approximation of second order. Now if we want this what we have seen, this is we have seen for first order, like you can see y dash xi, y dash xi, y dash xi. It is for what? It is for the first order. Now we'll see, or we'll apply the central difference approximation for second order for second order. So how to apply this? So when you have to find the value of y double dash at any value of xi, it will be what? 1 by s square y xi plus 1 minus 2y xi plus y xi minus 1. You have to remember. So this is the formula, or in simple terms it can be written as y dash I is equal to 1 by s square yi plus 1 minus 2yi plus yi minus 1. So this is the central difference approximation formula. Okay, y double dash I. In this way, why we are finding this is that actually we are going to substitute the value of y dash x1, y double dash x1 in this equation. We are having this equation, we have considered this equation. Here we are going to substitute the values of y dash. Okay, from where the values obtained from the central from any of the approximation. Suppose you are, if you are asked to solve by forward difference approximation, you have to consider the formulas for forward difference approximation. But generally the central difference approximation we are having because we are solving the boundary value problems in which the n values will be given to you. So we'll have to substitute the value of y dash from the formula that we have seen. Okay, the value of y dash, y double dash, the value of y dash. Okay, and then you have to find the exact solution. We'll consider a problem, then you'll know exactly what we have to do. Now here, solve the boundary value problem. So the boundary value problem, x y double dash plus y is equal to 0. Now this equation is given to you, it is second order equation. Okay, now two conditions are given to you. At x is equal to 1, y is 1. At x is equal to 2, what is the value of y? It is 2. Okay, by second order finite difference method with h is equal to 0.25. Now what is given to you? The increment in x is given to you. The increment in x, we are considering it as h. So that increment is given to you. Okay, so we are having h is equal to 0.25. Okay, and we can find the number of n is what? This number of steps required. So n is equal to b minus a upon h, which is equal to 4, or the nodes. You call it as nodes. It is equal to 4. So you will have 5 nodal points. Initial point is x0. Okay, x1 is add 0.25 in this, you'll get x1 1.25. Again add 0.25, you'll get x2 as 1.5. Then x3 as 1.75 and x4 as 2. So here the initial and final values of x are given to you. The initial value of x is 1, final value of x is 2. And what is the increment? Increment is 0.25. Therefore we are having x0, x1, x2, x3 and x4. Okay, now we are giving the data values. So we are knowing when y is equal to, we are knowing value of y, or when x is equal to x0, what is y? Y is equal to y0. When x is equal to x0, y is equal to y0. So when x is equal to 1, value of y is given as 1. Here you can see when x is equal to 1, value of y is given as 1. When x is equal to x4, what is the value of y? Y is equal to y4. When x is equal to x4, y is y4. And the y4 value is given to you as y2. y4 is what? y4, what is the value of y4? It is 2. So sorry, at y4 the value of y is equal to 2 over here. You can see what this is nothing but what? This is the x value. The value whichever the value is present over here, That is the x value. So it is the x4 value. Now, what you have to find? You have to find the values at values of y for different values of x. Like here you can see, you have to find value of y at different values of x. So at value of when x is equal to 1.25, find y. When x is equal to 1.5, find y. When x is equal to 1.75, find y. Like this you have to find the value of y at the intermediate points. x1, x2, x3, they are the intermediate points. At this point you have to find the value of y. Now using the central difference approximation for y, what is there in the equation? There is y dash term, so you have to write the formula for y dash term from central approximation method. So according to central approximation method, so y dash I will be equal to xi upon h square, yi plus 1 minus 2i plus y minus 1 plus yi is equal to 0. Now y dash, what is the formula for y dash? By central approximation method, the formula for y dash for central approximation method is 1 upon h square yi plus 1 minus 2 yi plus yi minus 1. This is the formula. This formula we are going to substitute over here. So xi, x as it is, xi 1 by h square yi plus 1 minus 2 yi plus yi minus 1 as it is, plus this y we are replacing it by yi is equal to 0. So from this you will get 16xi yi minus 1 plus 1 minus 32xi into yi plus 16xi yi plus 1 is equal to 0. You will get this equation. Now what you have to do is that you have to consider different values of y. You have to consider different values of y. So for when I is equal to 1, so when I is equal to 1, xi is what? x1, which is equal to 1.25. Okay, y0, you are knowing the value of y0, which is 1.0. So finally you will get this equation 20y0. You have to substitute these values over here in this equation. So you will get the equation as 20y0 minus 39y1 plus 20y2 is equal to 0. So what is the y0 over here? Y0 value is 1. Y0 value is 1 over here, so it will be 20. This will go on the right side, it will become minus 20. Similarly, substitute the value of I is equal to 2 over here and obtain the equation. What equation you will be getting? 24y1 minus 47y2 plus 24y3 is equal to 0. Similarly, substitute the value of I3 over here in this equation and obtain the equation. You will get another equation as 28y2 minus 55y3 is equal to minus 56. Like this you will be having three different equations and you will be having three unknowns, y1, y2 and y3. And when you are having three equations and three unknowns, you can solve it by Gauss elimination method. So three equations, three unknown, we are writing it in the matrix form, ax is equal to b form. Okay, so and you have to solve this by using Gauss elimination method only. Okay, so by Gauss elimination method you have to obtain the upper triangular matrix, and once you obtain the upper triangular matrix you have to find, and then you have to do the backward substitution over here. You have learned the Gauss elimination method, you have to do accordingly. So y3 value we will get first. So y3 we are having 1.85052, then you will get the y2 value 1.63, and then you will get the y1 value 1.35. In this way we are finding out the value of y1, y2 and y3 as respective values of x, that is x1, x2 and x3. This is known as, so what we have done, by using central difference approximation we have found out the unique solution of this equation. Okay, that is the value of y1, y2 and y3. Here another problem is given to you, solve the boundary value problem. y double dash plus 5y dash plus 4y is equal to 1. So this is again a second order differential equation. Here two conditions are given to you, as it is second order differential equation. At x is equal to 0, value of y is 0. At x is equal to 1, value of y is 0. Two conditions are given to you, and this you have to solve by finite difference method. Use central difference approximation with h is equal to 0.25, and they also given you the exact solution. So this is the exact. From this, here you can obtain the exact solution. In this exact solution, they have used the variable, they have used the constant a and b. The value of constant a and b can be obtained from here. A is equal to e raised to 3 minus e, 4, 1 minus e raised to minus 3. B is what? B is equal to 0.25 minus a. So you can obtain the value of a and b from here, and you can get the exact solution, that is the analytical solution. And we are asked to find by finite difference method. This is the numerical method. Okay, and then we have to find out the magnitude of the error and percentage relative error at a given point x is equal to 0.5. So at this point you have to find the magnitude of error and percentage relative error. You have to solve this problem by numerical method, and that numerical method is central difference approximation. So we have h is equal to 0.2, so we can find out the n is equal to what? 4. So initial value of x is 0, final value of x is 1. You can see from this given data, initial value of x is 0, final value of x is 1. So, and what is the increment? 0.25. So the first value of x will be 0, then x1 0.25, x2 0.5, x3 0.75, and x4 1. So like this, we will be having 5 values of x starting from x0 to x4. Similarly, you have to obtain values of y. So two values we are knowing, two values of y we are knowing. The value of y at starting, that is x0, and value of y at end, that is at y is equal to 1. So at what is y0? Y0 is given as 0. So y0 is 0. What is value of y4? Y4 is given as 0. Okay, so these two values of y we are knowing. We have to find intermediate values for y. So using central difference approximation. Okay, so y dash formula. What is the y dash formula? 1 by h square, yi plus 1, 2yi plus yi minus 1 plus 5. 5 is given over here. So here 5, then there is y dash. You have to write the formula for y dash. 1 by 2h yi plus 1 minus yi minus 1 plus 4y, it will be yi is equal to 1, is equal to 1 over here. So we have written the formula for y dash and y double dash from central difference approximation. You have written over here, and we have obtained the equation. So what is the equation you are getting? 6yi minus 28yi plus 26yi plus 1 is equal to 1. This is the final equation you are getting. Dhanshu Patil, mute your audio. Then we have the following difference equations. Like as we have done before, we have found out, or we have substituted the value of I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2, and I is equal to 3 in the equations, and then we have obtained the different equations. So here we are getting the different equations in y1, y2, and y3. We have to solve this equation again by Gauss elimination method. So after solving by Gauss elimination method, you get the value of y3 as This is the value of y3, minus 0.06295. With the value of y2, we'll obtain the value of y1. Now, from the analytical solution, we are having two constants, a and b, and the value of a and b is given to you, or we have obtained the value of a and b. Now, in this equation, we are substituting the value of a and b. Also, they are asked to find out the error at 0.5. So what we will be doing is that instead of x, we will be replacing x by 0.5, and we are finding the value of y at 0.5. So the value of y at x is equal to 0.5 is 0.11465. Okay. Now, we have to find error at x is equal to 0.5. So what is the error at 0.5? So what is the value of, so x2 is 0.5. So we have found out y2. So the y2 that we have got, it is minus 0.12711. By analytically, you are getting the value as 0.11465, and by numerical method, you obtain the value as 0.12711. So the difference we have taken over here. So we are getting the error as 0.01246. This is the error that we are getting. So percentage relative error is 0.01246 upon the true value. What is the true value? It is nothing but analytical value into 100. So 10.8% relative error we are getting in this. So in this way, we are finding the values of y of different values of x using the finite difference method. So which method we have used over here? We have used the central difference approximation method. Okay, so this methods, finite difference method, they are the basis for the further methods. So when you have to solve problems of partial differential equations of different types, then for solving their problems, this finite difference method, it is the base. Now, classification of linear second order partial differential equation. Okay, now most of our mathematical models of the physical systems give rise to a system of linear or non-linear partial differential equations. We have seen mathematical modeling, and through that mathematical modeling, we obtain different equations, and these equations, they are nothing, they can be linear or non-linear partial differential equations. Now, when you obtain these equations, they are difficult to solve by analytical methods. So we solve them by numerical methods. So numerical methods can be broadly classified as, there are two types of methods: finite element methods and finite difference methods. So when such type of partial differential equations arise, we go for numerical methods. There are two types: finite element methods and finite difference method. So we will be studying the finite difference method used for solving the linear partial differential equations. Okay, we'll be using the finite difference methods for solving linear partial differential equations. Now, first we'll classify the linear second order partial differential equations. Consider a partial differential equation AU. Now U is a variable, we'll call it as a dependent variable. U is the dependent variable and X is independent variable. Also Y is independent variable. So UXX means what? Del square U by del X square plus BU XY, del by U by del X into del Y. CUYY means what? Del square Y by del Y square plus DUX, del by U by del X plus EUY, del u by del y plus fu plus g is equal to 0. Consider this as second order partial differential equation. This is a general equation, okay, in second order. Now here over here you can see over here a b c d e f and g. These all are what? They are constants. They are known as real constants, or they are functions of x and y. Now the partial differential equation is called a, when it is called as an elliptic equation. Now first you have to find out the value of b square minus 4ac. So b square minus 4ac. Now you can see over here b, c, a, they are derivatives of, or they are coefficients of higher order derivatives. A, B, C, they are coefficients of higher order derivative. Okay, so we'll consider this coefficients, and we are having the formula b square minus 4ac. You have to find out this value of b square minus 4ac. If it is coming less than 0, then that equation is called as elliptic equation. If it is equal to 0, we call it as parabolic equation, and if it is greater than 0, then we call it as hyperbolic equation. These three type of equation we are having: elliptic, parabolic and hyperbolic, that we can find out by finding out the value of b square minus 4ac. So for you will be having, for you to obtain the solution for elliptic equation, solution for parabolic equation. Hyperbolic equation you are not having for your syllabus. You have to, or will learn how to obtain the solution of elliptic equation and parabolic equation. So this classification is very important. First you should be able to identify which type of equation it is. The simplest examples of above equations are of the following. So the parabolic equation, u function of t, what means what? It is del by u by del by t is equal to c square uxs. Uxs means what? Del by square u by del by x square. Ut means what? It is del by u by del by t is equal to c square del by square u by del by x square. So this is nothing but one dimensional heat equation. Okay, one dimensional. Why one dimensional? As only we are considering the x direction, and the u is also varying with respect to time. You can see over here t is taken over here, t is for what? Time. So this is one dimensional heat equation. Then you are having the hyperbolic equation, utt, it is del by square u by del by t square is equal to c square u del by u by del by square u by del by x square. So it is one dimensional wave equation. Then you are having an elliptic equation, del by square u by del by x square plus del by square u by del by y square is equal to 0. So it is two-dimensional Laplace equation. Okay, parabolic equation, it is one-dimensional heat equation. Hyperbolic equation, it is the one-dimensional wave equation. Elliptic equation is nothing but the two-dimensional Laplace equation. So we have to start. You have to learn you have to obtain the solution for one-dimensional heat equation and two-dimensional Laplace equation. These two equations, or you have to obtain the solution for these two equations. So this is the classification. Now we'll see first the elliptic equation. So a two-dimensional Laplace equation is nothing but the elliptic equation. It is written in this manner: uxx plus uyy equal to, actually it should be 0 over here. Don't consider delta square u over here, consider it as 0. You can see the elliptic equation is written in this form: uxx plus uyy is equal to 0. Okay, it should be 0 over here. I'll give a corrected, I'll correct it later. With uxy prescribed on the boundary, that is uxy is equal to fxy on the boundary. So boundary conditions will be given to you. These boundary conditions, they are known as Dirichlet boundary conditions, and the boundary value problem is called as Dirichlet boundary value problem. We can call it as Dirichlet boundary value problems. So the conditions denoted by this way, uxy is equal to function of xy on the boundary. Okay. Now, finite difference methods. Two-dimensional domain x and y we are having. Some range will be given to you. We superimpose on this domain are a rectangular network or mesh of lines with step lengths of h and k. Now we are having two independent variables or two variables x and y. You know, increment in x is given by h, increment in y it is given by k. The mesh of lines is called as a grid. The points of intersection of the mesh lines are called as nodes. You refer the figure below. Here you can see this is known as grid. This is the grid. These points, they are known as nodal points. You can see over here, these are the nodal points. Okay, and you have to find the value at these nodal points. Okay, means if h is equal to k, if h and k are same, then we have a uniform mesh. This is known as uniform mesh. We obtain such type of mesh when h is equal to k. It will be same over here, this increment will be same. Then denote the numerical solution at xi yj by uij. The point, this point over here, we denote it by uij. The point over here, we denote it by uij. Okay, and you have to find it at xi and yj. Okay, at the nodes, the partial derivatives in the differential equation at nodes, these are known as node points. At nodes, the partial derivatives in the differential equation are replaced by suitable difference approximations. That is, the partial differential equation is approximated by a difference equation at each nodal point. This procedure is called as discretization of partial differential equation. We are having the partial differential equation, the partial derivatives in differential equation are replaced by suitable difference approximations. Okay, that approximations we have to consider and we have to replace them. Now what we'll be doing over here is that we'll be using the central difference approximation. We'll be using central difference approximation and we'll be applying to this. Okay, now when we apply the central difference approximation to this grid, we obtain the formula as ui plus 1 j plus ui minus 1 j plus ui j plus 1 plus ui j minus 1 minus 4 ui j is equal to 0. Now this formula contains 5 point 1 2 3 4 5. So this is known as standard 5-point formula. We can write this formula as uij 1 by 4 ui plus 1j plus ui minus 1j plus uij plus 1 plus uij minus. How to remember this formula? It is very simple to remember this formula through this figure. Suppose this is the first point uij. It is the first point uij. So this point will be what? I plus 1 j. This one will be I minus 1 j. So here will be increment in j. So I j plus 1 and this will be I j minus. So we are having 5 points over here. You can see 5 points are there. Central point is the I j. On the left it will be I minus 1 j. On the right it will be I plus 1 j. On upper side it will be I j plus 1. When we go below it will be I j minus 1. Like this we are having 4 points over here. So what is the formula? Ui plus j, sorry, uij is equal to 1 by 4 and in bracket you have to add all these 4 terms. What you have to do when you have to find u value at this ij points, it will be equal to 1 by 4. In bracket, you have to add all these neighboring points. These are the neighboring points. You have to add this and write the equation. Okay. First, now in order to write the equation, first you should label the points, or you should number the points. Okay. So you can number in this way: u1, u2, u3, u4, u5, u6, or you can number in this way also, starting from here. You can start from upper side, or you can start from numbering from lower side also: u1, u2, u3, u4, u5, u6, u7, u8, u9. Now, whenever you have to solve the problem or solve the Laplace equation, the boundary conditions will be given to you. You can see we are having different boundary conditions, or at different nodes, or at different points. You'll see what is the boundary. This is the boundary. These are the boundary. So suppose you have to find out. Suppose you are given a plate. A square plate is given to you. Okay. Suppose you are knowing the temperature at the end of the plate, or at the boundary of the square plate. Suppose 100 is given on all the sides. If you are asked to find out the intermediate temperature at different points, you can obtain the intermediate temperature in this way. So you are asked to find out at 4 different points: u1, u2, u3, u4. You can obtain the temperature at these 4 different points if you know the temperature at boundaries. So like these problems we can solve by using the by using the finite difference method. How to solve the problem, we'll see in the next lecture. Thank you.